Have you been wanting to improve at ranked? Are you looking for operators that can give you an edge over your opponents? Well, you've come to the right place, because if you start playing the operators I mentioned in this video, I guarantee you'll start winning more rounds. So here is my list of the 8 best attackers in Rainbow Six Siege to follow up my video on the best defenders. Hopefully you all enjoy. Now, the operator coming in at the 8th position is Deimos. Deimos manages to make his way onto this list because of his insane ability. Deimos' gadget is his death mark tracker, which he can activate with the click of a button, which he can use to scan the position of a defender. When his tracker is active on a defender and scanning them, their position will be revealed through the wall to Deimos repeatedly, basically giving Deimos wall hacks. However, while the tracker is active, Deimos can only have his pistol out, and the enemy that he is tracking can also see his position. Now, this may sound pretty weak to someone who's not super experienced with Siege, but trust me, having wall hacks in a game where there's a lot of soft destruction is huge. And while the defender can see you through walls as well, your position doesn't update nearly as quickly for them as their position updates for you. This gives you a massive advantage in basically every gunfight you take with this ability up. And one of the strongest ways to use this gadget to your advantage is to play below a bomb site and use your high damage revolver to shoot through the floor and down defenders inside the bomb site. By using this strategy, it forces all defenders to constantly be on their toes because they have to be worried about you shooting them through the floor at any moment, and it also allows you to cause chaos on the bomb site, which can leave the defenders vulnerable to your other teammates pushing onto the site. But that isn't the only way you can use Deimos. You can also use him to effectively roam clear. If you know the enemy team is bringing a lot of roamers, picking Deimos can be smart because you can apply a lot of pressure on the roamer and call out their position constantly while the rest of your team surrounds them. But Deimos' gadget isn't the only reason why he's good. He also has access to a great loadout. The AK-74 assault rifle is pretty solid. He has access to a shotgun if he'd prefer to have some additional soft destruction capability. He has his 44 Vendetta revolver, which deals 78 damage per shot, which is insane. And then on top of that, he gets frag grenades and secondary hard breach charges. Overall, Deimos is just a really solid operator in the current meta, and definitely worth running if you want to apply some additional pressure to the enemy team's roamers. Now, moving past Deimos, we have a fan favorite operator, Zofia, in the number 7 spot. The reason why Zofia finds herself in this position is for 3 main reasons. Firstly, her lifeline launcher is one of the best launchers in the game because it gives you access to 2 impact grenades and 2 concussion grenades. The concussion grenades can be used to burn ADSs and to also face check rooms really quickly, and then the impact grenades can be used to destroy utility or to just open soft surfaces if necessary. This, combined with the fact that Zofia has the M762 assault rifle, one of the strongest ARs in the game, and the LMG-E, probably the best LMG in the game right now, makes her a really solid choice if you're looking for a fragging operator on the attack. This is one of the reasons why Zofia is so popular, because compared to other operators on the attack right now, she can allow you to pick up frags for your team at an unprecedented pace. She does have the downside of being a 3 armor, which means she rotates really slowly, but if you plan on taking a ton of gunfights with her, that additional HP can be useful. Now, after Zofia, we have Grim, who is an operator that has made a huge comeback over the last few seasons. The reason why Grim finds himself this high on this list is because his B launcher is incredibly strong nowadays. You can transition to and from the gadget a lot quicker now. It has multiple firing modes, which makes it easier for you to line up shots with your Bs from a distance. And the Bs, once they are deployed, have a much wider radius, their pings are much more useful, and they last a whole lot longer. This allows Grim to exert a whole lot of pressure onto the bomb site or onto a power position by just using his Bs. And when you use his Bs in combination with other operators that can take advantage of those pings, like a buck from below the bomb site or something, Grim's Bs become a lot stronger. These pings can allow you to pull off plays that you otherwise wouldn't be able to, like spamming Bs inside of a room that a defender's playing in, and then having your buck player go below and kill the player from below without them even being able to react. But there are plenty of other examples of where Grim can be strong. He can be strong for executing onto the site because you'll just be able to get a ton of info off of the Bs. He can be strong for playing the post plant because he can reveal the position of every defender that's trying to go for the diffuser, and he can be useful for rush strategies because you can spam his Bs into the bomb site to overwhelm the defenders and give your team the upper hand. This amazing gadget, combined with Grim's solid loadout, that being the 5.52 commando, the bailiff secondary shotgun, access to secondary EMPs and secondary hard breach charges, makes Grim an operator that you really can't go wrong with picking. You most likely will get utility out of Grim at some point in a round if you pick him, and the utility you do get out of him is honestly just exceptional. Now, our operator coming in the number 5 spot may surprise some of you, and that operator is Dokkaebi. Dokkaebi did get nerfed in the recent season, and it did make her a little less strong. But I think even despite this nerf, she's still one of the best operators in the game. The reason I say that is because while she might have to wait to access her calls throughout the duration of the round, her calls are still just as strong as they were before. They still kick all the defenders off of their cameras, even dead defenders. They still reveal the position of all defenders on the map, and Dokkaebi can still use her tablet to hack into the defender camera system. These three functions all being inside of one operator's gadget is honestly busted. And no matter how long Dokkaebi has to wait to get access to those functions, it's still going to be incredibly strong. This combined with the fact that Dokkaebi has a pretty decent DMR, access to the SMG-12 machine pistol as her secondary option, and access to the GON-6, and she has three of the best secondary gadgets in the game right now, I really don't think you can go wrong with picking Dokkaebi in really any round. Even if Ubisoft nerfs Dokkaebi again after this patch, I don't know if it'll be enough. She's just one of the most busted operators that the attack has seen in a very long time. Now, moving past Dokkaebi, we have a little bit of a more versatile operator, and that is Buck. Buck is this high on this list for pretty obvious reasons that most of you will expect. His shotgun is just by far the best soft destruction gadget in the game. You can open floors from below, but you can open vertical holes like Sledge and Ram do. You have access to flashbang, secondary hard breach charges, and you get a really solid weapon in the form of the C8 assault rifle. All of these aspects combined makes Buck one of the most versatile operators in the game and my favorite operator to play overall. Now, moving on past Buck, we have an operator I've discussed multiple times in videos like this before, and that is Ying. Ying is still one of the strongest operators on the attack. Her Candelas can exert a ton of pressure onto the bomb site, and their only real outright counter is Warden. She comes equipped with smoke grenades alongside that helps her to execute on the site even further, and she gets a pretty solid LMG to go along with it, which can allow her to take a lot of gunfights, and to also never run out of ammo when she's doing a rush strategy. Like I said, the only real downside to bringing a Ying is that if the enemy team brings a Warden, they will be able to counter you pretty effectively. But as long as you A, know that they don't have a Warden, or B, you ban Warden in the ban phase, Ying is basically one of the strongest operators for executing onto the site or for pushing onto a power position. Speaking of pushing onto a power position, another operator that is incredibly strong at that task in this game right now is Montaigne. Montaigne has seen a massive glow up in the tier list over the past few seasons, and that's because of the shield rework. Monty being able to reliably avoid being shot in the shoulder, being able to avoid explosive damage now, especially since impacts were nerfed, and also being able to take gunfights much more effectively and to melee defenders more reliably, all combines to make Montaigne a pretty big powerhouse. The only thing that defenders can really do to counter a Montaigne is to bring a ton of trap operators like Legion and Ella. They can bring a Clash to counter the Montaigne, or they could also bring a ton of Nitro cells. But none of those counters, except for maybe Clash, are super reliable. And since Clash's pick rate is so low and her win rate is so low, the chances of her being brought against you as a Montaigne player is pretty rare. And without the defense bringing any of those counters, Montaigne is basically just free to do whatever he wants. And no matter where he goes while fully extended, the defense can't really do anything about it. They have to respect him being in that position, because at any moment he could just unshield and just start gunning them down. This is why Montaigne is so strong for doing pushes like Rafters on Clubhouse, because you can walk up the stairs and sit in the corner and apply pressure on the guy on Rafters, and if he gets too distracted by you, he'll end up dying to your teammates that are peeking him as well. And if he gets too distracted by your teammates, you can just unshield and kill him outright. Now, moving past Montaigne, the operator that I'm going to be crowning the best attacker in the game is someone that I'm sure none of you will be surprised by, and that is Ace. Ace has been one of the strongest attackers in the game for a very long time now, and that's just because he dominates the hard breaching space. And hard breaching in Siege is one of the most important roles that an attacker can fill. Ace being able to throw his Selmas from a distance, being able to open walls faster than any other hard breacher in the game, then having a strong weapon on top of that, which most hard breachers don't have access to, and being a 2-speed, all makes him a hard breaching powerhouse. Ace's loadout is so strong that you can reliably frag out with him while also filling a support role on your team. There realistically isn't any downside to Ace, because Thermite really doesn't compete with him very well. Maverick can't really compete with him at all because of how slow it is for him to open walls, and Ivana is only really useful for opening hatches and not really walls, so she can't really compete with Ace's role either. So Ace has basically solidified himself as the go-to operator for opening a reinforced wall, and I think because of that you have to put him at the top of this list, because that is the most important thing an attacker can do for you. Anyways, hopefully you all enjoyed today's video. As always, this video is strictly my opinion, and if you disagree, feel free to leave your takes in the comments down below. If you enjoyed today's video, I make Siege content just like this twice a week, so go subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter if you don't want to miss the next upload. If you want to watch another video just like this one, a video be popping up on your screen right now that I'm sure you all enjoy. I'll see you next time, friends, and peace.